Hello there, everybody. Welcome to the Verdant NLC Div 2 Aftershow. We are back once again, episode 3? I think. I
What
don't
week is
really
it?
know.
What day is it? I don't know, man. I'm still
I'm
got
completely
COVID brain.
lost, man. Sleep patterns is in the gutter at the moment, so yeah.
There's no hope.
I'm on a screen. I'm Middlecott. Trajan's also here, also on a screen. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing just fine, man. I have been tuning into more NLC than I've ever tuned into before this year, and honestly, it's good and it's bad, but mostly I'm just enjoying the content. And I have to say, quick plug, I am really enjoying the Verdant viewing parties. I think it's a really good environment to watch it. So
you're so kind. You're
this
so
is
kind.
not hashtag ad. I am not sponsored. You know, this is a free plug here. Genuinely, it's a great time. So
Well, I do like it, actually. I do like it. It's one of the things that I often find when watching League is that you can lose the social experience. I think one of the best thing about watching like sports and stuff is sitting down with a bunch of mates and like ordering in some pizza, like having some drinks or whatever, and like making an evening of it. Like sometimes with like the broadcasts, you can end up just like watching them. You're sat there staring at the blue screen and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're wondering, what the hell am I doing with my life? I've got a degree, but I'm just wasting every single waking moment devoted to a game that I don't even know if I like.
You're getting a bit real here, right now. You're getting a bit real for this hour of the night. I mean, we all know that the worst part of League of Legends is playing League of Legends, but watching League of Legends can be very fun in the right environment for sure.
Oh,
so we all stand a good viewing party.
And I tell you what, it's even better when you win. Because for
Certainly
the first time, we are coming off the back of a Verdant win for one of these after shows. So the tone is it's a little less tongue-in-cheek. Like, there's genuine smugness here.
I know, it's because worse. It's way worse, honestly. I invited people to the viewing party with the promise that you were going to cry, and you didn't. Instead, you were just really smug. And I feel like I missold it, unfortunately. So we'll just have to wait until you guys have your next Orbe matchup, and then we'll have the loss, and then we can get them back in for sure.
That's a good segue. We probably should start talking about the games a little bit, and I'm glad that you actually brought up Orbe because they've had a 2-0 week, which I don't think anyone really thought that they would do at any point in this split.
I am pondering respectfully this Orbe right now, okay? I am thinking very hard about why they've now got 2 wins. And I'm still not quite sure why. They just seem to win now. Nothing seems to be, like, different to before.
Yeah.
You know? Gunkus isn't 1-9 this time. He's now first blooding Ice Gale on a 2v1 dive. That's a little different, Gunkus. So that's maybe that's it. I don't know. It doesn't seem like anything has massively changed. But they're just winning now, you know? It's very interesting. But maybe, I don't know, maybe they're just settling in. Maybe they've just got their comms in order. Maybe they're just, like, got the stage nerves off. I don't know. But whatever they're doing is working. And it's working big time.
And the thing is, if it had just been today, I think if it had just been, like, London United, we go, you know what? But they beat Natives, who were first place at the time, undefeated when they did it. Obviously, they dropped down in the final game of today to Flung, so we're actually down to a 4-2 record. But it's still a scalp against a team that, I mean, in terms of like the pre-split expectations, were honestly and literally in some cases leagues above Orbe. So
yeah, I mean, no one had any expectations. It was a Humegalol across the board, right?
It was,
and not even like in a
Bluebird.
toxic, not even in a toxic way. We just didn't know who they were. And now we do. And now we're starting to go, okay, Ton, you've got some hooks, you know. All right, sure, okay, Gunkus, you know, you had a bit of a shake, but it's coming through, you know. So I love this kind of story. Any caster just sees this story and is just like, you know, being a little lewd, honestly, about
winning.
it.
Keep winning.
Please keep winning, because it is so satisfying to watch. And every caster is like, yes, please keep winning. It's so fun to cast, and it's so fun to watch. It really does make Div 2 feel like there's more at stake in these kind of games, instead of having like, we've got this cool game that's like teams fighting for first, and then you've got team versus Orbe, which we don't care about for an hour, and then it's back to something you care about. Everything now is worth caring about because there are no teams that are just going to get walked on, apart from Verdant.
We won today versus Lightside. What are you talking about, man? Like, you're throwing shots for no reason.
Yeah,
but
that's probably the last time I could get away with that because you guys start winning again. So I need to stop. We can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
it's
we can't. Yeah, once we like go 3, sort of 5, like 7 games undefeated now, it's you can't make the joke. But I agree with your point. You never want to see like a team that's sort of like a conspicuous example right now is obviously going to be Singularity in the NLC. Yeah, and it's just not fun. Like once it gets to a certain point, you could go, okay,
it's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. And you can tell by like listening to like the losers interviews, like gradually getting a bit more, I guess, detached from the results. And it is a horrible thing because once you do go 0-6, going 0-8, going 0-10 becomes a hell of a lot easier than just grabbing that first win. So I think in Div 2 right now, with a million teams apparently sat at 2 and 4, we don't have like a definite bottom team. We don't have that one team that you can just beat up. We've got teams that are stronger, teams that are maybe weaker, and I think that now that we have had our sort of third week of games, you can start going, okay, these are the actual good teams. These are the teams that are maybe a little bit weaker. These are the teams that are improving. You could start bringing in those narratives because you've actually got a body of work to work with.
Yeah, it's that is what we want to see, and I think it is noticeable that everyone had their expectations at the start, right? And there is a definite consistent trend for some teams, like Flung that you mentioned. They were like mid-pack set before the season and early season, and now they're trending up. And then Orbe, 0 expectations, started that way, now they're trending up. And then you have teams like Natives, who everyone was like, just put them in the promotion series already, and it looked that way, but now suddenly it's like, why did they just lose twice? Like, why how did this happen twice in a row? It's weird that it happened twice. So I think definitely teams, you've got like a trajectory that a lot of people are on. The graphs are now crossing over, and people need, they need to like see some consistency at some point so we can have an idea as to what we're going to be looking at when it comes to playoffs, because we can't all be 5-5. No. It would be fascinating if we ended up all being, or I guess what would it even be? You'd have to be 5-4 or 4-5 because
there's been how many teams are there? Splits like that in recent memory where it's gone down to the last day, and there's been some UKLC ones as well. Actually, I think last split, the entire sort of like top, 2nd to 7th were all like within 1 game win of each other. Whilst that's exciting, it's really difficult to actually tell what the best teams are in scenarios like that, because you could just randomly have 2 teams miss out on playoffs when theoretically maybe they actually would have been stronger. They're making a late surge and they just didn't quite make it in.
For us though, we do know who the best team is.
Yeah,
and it's Monster. Monster's the best team. Like they're first.
As much as it pains me to say it.
Yes. We were watching that last Natives game, and I know that Fabi, the coach, was watching that last Native game, going, "We want to be first. We want to be sole first," and now they are because Natives bottled it again versus Flung. So Munster, to be fair, they look really good, right? They had some shakes early on. Stumpy had his ups and his downs. He's now doing better. Merbs and Baloo were expected to be great, and they've been great, but they do be getting just like the S tier drafts every game. I'm not gonna lie. How is Merbs and Baloo jinx thrashing every game?
I don't know,
How is
man.
that allowed?
I don't know, man. It doesn't seem reasonable. And I think that Munster are actually one of the few rosters that, looking at pre-split expectations, you can go, yeah, they've matched them.
Yes.
Like, we thought that Merbs and Baloo were going to be a top 2 bot lane duo. Absolutely are. Thought that Kemero was going to be solid in the mid lane. Whilst he's had some shaky moments, I don't think we can deny that. He's been solid in the mid lane. Gaboosh has been performing in the jungle, and Stumpy has been Stumpy.
Yeah, Stumpy been stumping is what he's been doing, and he had the rough times early on, but then we know as the coaches of it imparted to us in the viewing party. You get the leaks in this viewing party. This is why you guys should all be here. It's he was having trouble, so they worked with him specifically. Now he's better. That's how coaching works. That's how good coaching actually works. And now he's really good. Now he's stealing Barons out of the death realm.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. No. Like even if Munster don't drop a single game for the rest of the split, they go through playoffs, they sweep it completely, they get the Div 2 title.
Yeah.
That barrel where he just throws it at the minimap, I'm still not going to forget that. Like,
okay, yeah, you have to have that to keep them humble, all right? You have to keep that clip. Everyone has to have a humble clip that you're like, you came from this, all right? Don't forget your roots, right?
No, but it's like, what I love is sometimes teams will do roster announcements where they like to. Oftentimes it is the fairly sort of like, oh, look at all these players, look how great they are. Every so often, a team will have like, look how great these 4 players are, and then look at this one guy making a completely in play.
Yeah. Look at him go. Everyone's just watching him. All nine players are just watching him like, what's happening, man? Where are you off to?
It's a bit
but seriously, so Munster does seem like a bit of a complete package. So they patched the problems in top lane. Gaboosh is looking so strong in jungle. Plus he just takes Volibear every game and just does everything. He's just everywhere, being useful everywhere all the time. And then the bot lane is a really good bot lane, getting premium picks every game, and Kemera is solid as a rock at this point. So I guess we have to see what happens if people don't let them get the premium draft every game. Then we'll have some sort of an idea. But they do seem to really have the skill, and they don't seem to have any weaknesses anymore. Maybe you'd say it was topside before, but that's not even the case anymore. So how do you actually attack them?
It's a stylistic thing, and I think this is the difference between a weak side, like someone a top laner who is playing weak side, and a weak side top laner.
Yes.
Like, Stumpy knows how to play weak side. He knows how to play without pressure for his team. He knows how to absorb pressure from the enemy. And that can generate you so many advantages that you don't even see. Because time, you can't really measure... Well, no, clocks.
Okay,
it's been a long day, Trajan.
Yeah. That's evident. That is really evident. You weren't mentally prepared for the win today, Middlecott.
It's broken me. It's broken me.
In a good way. But now you're gonna be used to it. And next week when you get the win, you're gonna be ready. You're gonna be on fire on the after show, mate. It's gonna be good.
Hell yeah. It's gonna be huggers. Well, we do actually have a guest today, Trajan. And
on this note of what he's just put in Twitch chat, I'm so afraid I will offend half the league. Let's bring him in.
Come on in.
What's up, guys?
Zvene, the top laner for losers Lightside. Honestly, based off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do you know what? We'll redo that again. Sorry.
That's like kicking the balls.
Right. Okay, everybody, welcome to the stream. Superstar top laner for Lundqvist Lightside. It's Zvene. Welcome.
What's up, guys?
Obviously, took the L today, but aside from that, you guys at Lightside have been looking pretty strong. Currently joint second in the standings, sat at 4 and 2. And I guess I kind of just want to get your thoughts on how the start of this Div 2 split's been going for you.
I think it started off, honestly, pretty good. Like, the first 2 games felt pretty controlled. And I think we started 2-0. But then we had a rough week. I guess week 2. I think we're on week 3, right? Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's just say week 2, we won a game that we probably shouldn't have won, but because enemies don't really know how to end games at this level, which is always a good thing. And then we lost versus Monster, which was a game we should have won, but yeah there's that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an up and down. Like, I feel like we're seeing our issues are becoming clearer and clearer. So that's something positive.
But what was the second team you lost to, by the way?
Some random team with a green logo.
Random check. Yeah.
With a green logo.
So Zvene, part of the reason that we wanted you on here, obviously, first player guest, coming from Lightside, good organised people. But I also kind of interested by a copy pasta that we've been seeing popping up in Twitch chat whenever you seem to be playing. Something about underrating lower level Nordic leagues. What is all that about, mate?
Well, by the way, is my camera bugged
have you closed the tab with the camera link on it?
I have not, so it's kind of weird.
I'll try and fix that. Why don't you talk about this copy pasta then?
Yeah.
Well, basically, Winter Showdown was happening, and there were people doing tier lists and stuff. So it was a bit interesting when they rated players like Castrullen. No offense to him, but I think I'm a more complete top laner than him.
Yeah.
And some other Swedish top laners that I'm like, you're a Camille one trick. Like, why are you rating him over me? I played top comps in season 4. And I was basically sitting on the bus. I was going to my hometown, and I didn't sleep, and I was like, I'm gonna make some spice, because I went in with like a wonder persona in this league. Like, I was trash talking everyone in the pregame. Because I just felt like this is so low level. I can legit troll and win. Like, I played a team game and we still won. Like, I think I went over 100. It was a Flame Horizon game, that's for sure.
That's a little bit rough to be playing against.
So basically, I was like, nah, I'm just gonna tweet something extremely cocky. And then once I'm home from the bus trip, we have an official game. I didn't sleep, and I was playing on laptop with packet loss, and I just grief a game instantly after it. So it became a copy pasta. That because I played a game, that was the only game we lost. Like in the and it's just after I tweeted, I just
it's like we were talking about with the Stumpy moment. Like, I'm sorry, you can play as good as you want, but if we've got you on camera looking stupid, that's what you get remembered for.
It is what it is.
It always is. Well, actually, talking about like tier lists, what's your sort of thoughts on the top laners that you've sort of played against so far in Div 2? What's your opinion on the level of players that you've been going up against?
I feel like most of them are only carry players, and they don't know how to use their lead sometimes. I feel like from the games I've watched, everyone is playing pretty good, but when I play them, I feel like they're not really doing anything, even if I have a bad matchup. Like, I feel like I get away with way more than I should. But like, I'm not sure like how to rate all the top laners. I'm excited to play Lundqvist though, because I think he's the only top laner in this league that is like a complete top laner. But that's kind of toxic to everyone else. But it's just my opinion. I just want to clarify.
No one at Zvene on Twitter if you see this. Come on.
It feels like, so in terms of like top play, I get what you mean. There's a lot of carry players or attempted carry players, right? Stumpy's not one of them, and Gunkus, I don't really know, right? He's played Gwen, but he locked in Gwen, but I don't know if he played it.
No.
That was my Ashkan game, actually.
Yeah, that was.
That was a bit of a disastrous top game.
It was not a carry game for Gunkus. We'll say that. We'll admit that. It was not a high point in Gunkus' career, but I think I get what you mean. I think the only player that I've seen, just like memory eye test, I guess, that a player that tries to push advantage on like a carry matchup a lot is Icy Gale when he's playing like Yone.
I agree. Right?
He's the only one who really tries to push the envelope there.
Yeah, that is completely. I agree, kind of fully with that. We did play them. Oh yeah, that was our first game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was actually letting. I got really outplayed in the first few levels, but their draft was so bad that they couldn't play. Like, I didn't. No, but it was like the Jax, Kassadin, and I don't remember what their bot was. But...
yeah. So the thing is, Vene, like you said that before you came on that you didn't want to be toxic. You didn't want to ruffle any feathers. You just want to be nice because you're a nice guy. Like, you're a lovely guy. You got a lovely sweater on. Looks cool. And you were like, I was playing against. He was really good. He actually outplayed me a little bit, but their draft was completely
just unwinnable. Absolute dog draft. To be fair though, literally everyone in the call in the viewing party was like, "Why Kassadin? What? Why?" No one understood.
He's got a carry, man. He's got a carry.
But it was mostly like they had 0 priors, they fought over enough. We got 4 drakes uncontested, basically. And then we just won the game. Like, that's TLDR of the story of that game.
Yeah, that seems to happen a lot.
Yeah, it happens a lot, but if you don't ever want to fight anything, you're just gonna lose. Like, are you gonna play for, it's your win condition? Yeah, let's wait Casa 16. Yeah, it's really good in comp, by the way. Like, wait. But that's like...
He's doubling down! He's doubling down! Oh,
no, but like...
It works for Showmaker, I mean, it works for anyone.
Yeah, if you're a Showmaker, yeah, sure. But it was, like... I just want to clarify, they said our draft was really shit in the losers interview that time. So I'm not saying that I'm not offending anyone.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just fair at that point. They said yours was bad, and you said theirs is bad, and you won. So I guess W.
We've not got Showmaker in Div 2 quite yet.
And I guess it's more like the fact that the rest of Showmaker's team is down 1 Kia. So it's
I
better,
think that's another...
right?
I do think that Showmaker's probably good enough that you could stick him in NLC Div 2 and he'd be able to,
I think
like...
he might do alright.
He might do alright. Obviously, like, he's got a match up against players like... He's got a match up against like players like E-Roll and Blueben, so that's always going to be difficult.
Blueben and Vigar just claps Showmaker, though, every time, let's be honest. Like,
true. Or the Velcos, actually. Or the Velcos.
It's a W.
It would be like when Nemesis played versus Faker, like, at Worlds a few years back. Yeah. Like, no one expected it. Blueben would just one-shot everyone.
This is one of the things that I like about NL, sort of the Div 2 level for URLs in general. It feels like there is just enough space for people to be like insanely cracked on champions and for them to actually pop off. It feels like once you start getting higher and higher level, yeah, you can have someone that is incredibly skilled on a particular champion, but generally people are good enough that they can neutralize it or just allow it to go even. Is this something that you've noticed? Are there players with particular picks or particular champions that, not necessarily in top lane, but just looking at them you go, wow, we just have to get rid of that?
I mean, not in this league, but I would say Leader is the best example of that. If I think of any player, he's the first that comes to my mind. Like, his Yasuo is completely cracked. So, like, he's one of the few players that I think if you give him this champ, he can... I mean, it's Leader though, so he might solo lose you the game or he will solo carry the game. Like, we saw that when he played in LEC, let's be honest. But that is not... Like, he's an insane player. Like, but... I mean, there are... I remember, I think we played versus London United in scrims. And I was like, nah, you give him Rengar, what the fuck is he gonna do? I mean, it went well, and then it went bad, and then it went really bad, and then the next game's ICBA.
So Zvene, there is a clip somewhere of UKEL, so sort of the league that London United were playing in before this.
Yeah.
I think it's week 1, possibly game 1, but it's ICGale on his Rengar.
Yeah.
People try and gank him, double kill it. 4 minutes or something like that.
Yeah,
the game's
just
over.
It's a BG. It's
I mean, if Rengar gets ahead, it's just lost. Like,
it's just enough. There's just
no respect for it.
I mean, if the way
respect it,
if the way bounces after and you have no flashes at top, then you're not played. Then you might as well. Okay, I'm coming bottom.
Yeah.
Like, that's just
hope you're playing Janus Might and you can just leave. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Just go. Just like nah, don't want to do it anymore. Do you have a question in chat? Sorry, Trajan?
I have one other question. On the subject of like top lane, like permaban picks or like, OTPs that need to be banned away. What are your thoughts on people continually banning Heimerdinger versus Stumpy? Why? Do you think this is a good ban or no?
I don't think it's a good ban. I think Heimerdinger is a very bad champion right now. So, like, he used to be a complete one trick. And he was like, he's probably insane. I've never seen him play Heimer, but
he never gets it.
Yeah, because it's forever banned, and then like Monster get the God draft every game because they're wasting bans on Heimerdinger top. Like,
that people are insecure if they're that afraid of Heimerdinger. Let's be honest. Like, there's so many champs you can pick into Heimer and just farm the lane out.
I've come up with an idea, Trajan. Yeah. I reckon what you do is you go around to a load of OTPs, or like high challenger, whatever. You say to them, okay, can you pretend that your main, your one trick account belongs to like one of our players, Like, don't actually do any account sharing shenanigans, because obviously, like, that's not okay. But if you just say it is, and you make that, like, a rumor, like, you disseminate that information in the community, you could have it so that your mid laner permanently has, like, I don't know, Seraphine banned against them or something, because apparently they're like solo killing people at level 3 on Seraphine.
You could just do it for top lane. You send them the account of a D1 Janna main, perhaps, and then they know to ban the Janna smite every game, right?
I guess. Jeez.
UKL fans know.
UKL fans know. Oh,
Jesus Christ. Okay.
What a time. We did have a question in chat from I'm Keys, asking you what your opinions on today's games were, because obviously you guys did play up against Verdant, not able to get the victory today. How did you feel about that game? What was it like for you?
I think our prep into the game was a bit rough because of private reasons from our coaching staff.
Okay.
Both of them actually. And what happened was, I think we overcomplicated draft a bit. We didn't expect them to ban. I don't remember what their third ban was, but we didn't expect it. And then we were like we had to pick our poison basically, and we decided, Seri is balanced. We have picks into it. It's fine. And what ended up happening was, I think it was obvious that Veigar is a flex, like Zvene is a mage player.
Yeah.
And then I think our second phase kind of made the draft extremely punishable. And basically, like, it did. I felt I was doing really good in that game, but I cannot play into their champions personally. Unless we're ahead bot, there's not much to do, I think. Like, we gave tier 2 top because I think we failed our lane assignments within the game. And after that, like, they could just 1-3-1 us, and we couldn't do anything on their. We didn't have a winning side lane, and then it's just very hard to play.
It feels like the way you're talking, that you ended up just sort of running out of options and ways to play throughout the game. Would that be a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think when we start, when bot, I don't know if bot got behind before jungle, but. Like, Trundle is a dumb counter pick to Sin, but we're fine to handshake it, even though, like, Sin is a really strong champ. Trundle is good into him, but it's a Trundle. Like, me picking a Sign probably wasn't the best idea. Like, maybe we should have broke the flex and give me counter, and it could have been a different game. But, it is what it is. It sucks. Like, that game was not... Like, I felt so bad after the game because I felt I was so strong, but I couldn't... Like, I got 2 roams off, but I still didn't think it transitioned into anything.
Yeah.
I think anyone that's ever sort of played League will have games like that where one thing or another or a slight change.
It was a Drake fight, actually. That was so disastrous.
Oh, yeah.
After that, we can open up, basically. Like, we don't have we don't have lockdown for a Kali, and if a Kali gets a flank, then it's lost.
And there's a Zeri as well. Like
we basically, the only play we had was, okay, we see Trundle, let's one-shot him with Veigar and everything and disengage. Like, we just needed to pick. We couldn't go for the backline, so we need to go get one pick, get out, and just repeat. That was the only way we could win the game at that point, which we tried in the end. But I guess Rel decided to do a big ult.
Yeah, that was like Winter clips. Do you know what? Like, on a personal thing, because I'd spoken to Winter, I did a bunch of work with him. Sort of like when it was being announced, like, I spoke with him. I did a lot of stuff with him. And I feel good for him for that game, because obviously, Zvene, for yourself, like, it sucked a bunch, but I think Winter has been one of those players that people expected a lot from coming into this split. And I think that this game was sort of what we were expecting to see. Some of those rel engages were incredibly clean by him. And like you sort of say yourself, Zvene, there was... Once that one came down in the mid lane where everyone just gets caught up, it's really difficult to play out of that situation.
I also realized side passive is so useless versus Seri. Like she just hits one auto attack, and I can't do anything. Like
nice speed.
Like it's a Nasus W. Like that made me so tilted. Like I just realized. So I need to hit all the others. She can jump over a wall. Okay.
Yeah.
Like if I need to hit when Trundle has no pillar up. So how am I getting in? Like that was my main issue. Like I think it was a bit. It got too rough. We needed to have one side ahead and then just play with Cage. Then we could have won. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a rest day thing.
I am really interested, honestly, to get your take on Rudude's question in chat as well. Who wins, Stumpy on Heimer or Icy Gale on Rengar? Because you've played against Icy Gale on Rengar, and you're a top player, right? So you've probably you've seen Heimers in your day. What do you genuinely think about this? I guess just the Heimer Rengar matchup as like a quiz question. It's like never ever gonna happen.
That, Trajan? That is. You just asked the guy what he thinks about Rengar versus Heimer top lane.
Yeah, he's a top lane. It's a test.
I am pretty sure that if Heimer gets to perma push, Rengar is not a champ. But if the lane is even, like I think Rengar W just kinda ruins Heimer's champ.
Sure.
So if he can just jump in and like he gets done, he press W, then like it just depends on the push, honestly. Like, but I would say it's Rengar favored, like by far.
Because that's fine. And if it's Rengar favored, I would give it to Icy Gale, because if anything is a slightly Rengar favored, I think he wins.
Yeah, I think it's fair. Also, I think he's the better player personally.
Now...
that's after playing versus both. I think he's mechanically better by far.
I mean, Keys thinks it's the other way, but Keys is a jungler, so I don't know why he's chiming in. I don't know what he thinks he has to offer to this.
Keys has been a jungler for about like 2 minutes. So
I mean, what he's saying is true, but I think Heimer can get punished like by jungler then. Like if Heimer gets pushed, of course, then Rengar is not the champ. He's just gonna sit there. But if no one leash, both for like level 1, like let's just fight, I think Rengar just wins. But maybe I'm wrong. Like those are very two unorthodox.
We'll have to set up a show match. To set up an exhibition with Stumpy Heimer versus Icy Gale Rengar. Just for the answer. I just want to know.
I'd be down for that.
Put some money on it on both sides.
I just want to know. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll get it going.
But what?
Zvene, we didn't just come get you on here to sort of interrogate you about Rengar versus Heimerdinger, because I did get you on for that regardless. Maybe that was what you got here for, Trajan. Do want to ask you a little bit about some sort of stats, a little bit of trivia about NLC Div 2 as we are going through. Obviously, we've come to the end of week 3, so we've got a decent number of numbers, and we can start making questions out of them and making quizzes out of them. So, gentlemen, I'm going to ask you a few questions about some champion pick and ban rates and some numbers and all that sort of good stuff. So, out of these 4 champions, and feel free to sort of answer however you like, which one is the most banned? The answers are Caitlyn, Corki, Gwen, or Twisted Fate. Which of these champions has been banned the most?
It's probably Corki, but I've seen Corki.
I think it might be TF. I think I've never seen TF. Ever. I feel like I've seen Corki played, and I've just never seen TF.
I think we got 2 TF games in, but I know there have been Corki games as well, so I'm not sure. Like Caitlyn was like flavor of the month at the start of the split.
Maybe I'm just thinking globally, like I just never see TF because it's just permabanned. But
I think it's Corki or Caitlyn, honestly. Like I think not many teams here play TF, but maybe it still have been banned. I'm not sure.
Caitlyn is a good general answer. I'm gonna stick with TF. It was my gut, but I think Caitlyn might be a good secondary.
TF for Trajan. Zvene, what are you going for?
I mean, I've seen more Caitlyn than I've seen Kate, so it could be Kate. I'll go Corki. I would assume it's Corki at least.
You're gonna assume it's Corki?
Yeah,
we're both wrong. And
Caitlyn.
Wrong.
Caitlyn has been banned 19 times in LC Div 2. The other 3, Corki, Gwen, and I can't remember what the other one was now. Twisted Fate, have all been banned 16 times. So yeah, still high presence.
All right,
completely trolled you there.
Yeah, it wasn't far off.
Caitlyn is toxic though, to be fair.
Yeah, very, very toxic.
Just lame.
Now, moving on from most bans, we're going to talk about most wins. There are only 5 champions that have picked up 5 or more wins in NLC Div 2. Those are Karma, Nautilus, Jin, Jarvan, and which other champion?
Jinx.
More than 5 wins.
More than 5 or more wins.
5 or more.
5 champions with 5
champions?
5 champions with 5 or more wins. 4 of them are Karma, Nautilus, Jin, and Jarvan.
I feel like it has to be Jinx because Monster has 4 of those, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think we have one as well.
Yeah, it could be. I know. I think Jinx.
I will just say this is based on Leaguepedia data, okay? So it may not have updated for the most recent games.
I think Jinx is a fair guess. I
do have Leaguepedia open, but I'm pretty sure
what?
Jinx. No. I was actually looking at some stats earlier.
Where are you, mate? Were you looking at the stats earlier?
Sure. I was looking at top lane stats.
Okay. Sure. I think Jinx is a good guess, though. I think I would go for Jinx.
Jinx, Zvene, how about you?
It's Jinx. It must be Jinx.
Surely.
You're gonna kick yourself.
It's Jinx.
God. Is it just fucking Thresh? Okay.
No, but it's Thresh. Like it's Thresh. Maybe Jinx is too bad.
Thresh is currently sat on 11 wins and 3
people
losses.
did give Divinus Thresh once though. That's a mistake.
I'll actually hold on. I'm gonna check who this is by because you can look at the breakdown. Both of Divinus's wins for London United have been on Thresh. 2 wins for Touch.
I guess it was the Divinus diff again. It's just Divinus diff always.
Rodabengi is 3-2.
Yeah.
Tun is 1-0. Dendon hasn't won on it. He's currently sat 0-1, and it's your man Baloo 4-0.
Yeah.
Currently on the Thresh. So
I guess I didn't watch enough of the other teams.
We had the Monster diff right, but we didn't have the Divinus diff right.
We didn't have the Divinus diff.
And the Rotabengi diff, to be fair, as well. And people probably should be banning that champion against that player. But what do I know? I'm just an observer. So
I guess I should have said Thresh because it was Thresh or Jinx. Like those are my
duo, right?
Like it was my instant thought. Like I'm not sure how many have played Aphelios. Maybe that's why.
I feel like not enough, to be fair. Because I feel like I see Aphelios like on tier 1. You see Aphelios all the time.
Yeah.
Just permanently, but not at this level. Not even. I'm trying to think even how many Div 1 games of Aphelios there have been. Like
not many. Not
as many as I would expect. Right, that's just my feeling. So I don't know why the NLC just hates Aphelios. I guess just
Aphelios is 2 wins, 6 losses. I think Jinx has actually got a negative win rate as well. Div 2, which is don't really understand what's going there. Final question that we're doing for this little trivia thing. Once again, based off Leaguepedia and whether it's updated properly. But we'll go with it anyway. There is one top laner who has played a unique champion in every single game. Who is it?
Lundqvist.
It's me. It must be me.
Lundqvist? It's too easy, it's you, Zvene.
I would probably believe Zvene for me, but...
Rennek, Sinch, Akshan, Sion... Wait, what's the other 2?
Rennek,
Singed,
Urgot, and... Wait, there's one more. Which game did we lose on?
Gunkers has played like 2... Did he play 2 Mundo games, or...?
Wait. There's one I'm missing, and I don't remember what I played. I didn't play Ornn. You
haven't played Ornn?
So it's 6 games.
6 games.
Sion, Singed, Akshan,
Urgot. I said it earlier, like Rennek.
Renekton.
And there's one more. And
there's one more. You won on this.
You won on it.
With a 5-1-9 KDA.
Is it like Gwen or something?
No, it wasn't Gwen. I haven't put it out yet.
Who goes 5-1-9?
It wasn't Shen. I'm really lost. I really want to open the tab now. Like, I really want to open the tab. Okay, I can't remember that.
Who else is even viable in this godforsaken top lane there?
Wait, I'm opening champions actually. Like,
you just like he's gone.
He's gone again.
Any pretense of not. Just
I want to know who it is
gone.
though. I want to because if you can remember the Singe game, but can't remember this one. Like,
is it Gragas? No,
it's not Gragas. I want you to have that head slap.
Malphite.
Malphite.
You went 5-1-9 on Malphite. That's fair. I respect that. That.
That's it's a pretty Chad way to do things. I do like it when.
Yeah, you didn't steal the Baron though, did you? So.
Are we really
second best Malphite in the league?
God.
I mean, I was top damage on Malphite, so that's something.
That's not good. That's not good. Unless you got like a Ludens or something in there.
That's like that game has not gone right. You won it, but that game didn't go right.
Something went
it's just cursed.
Something went wrong top
it's just cursed. Why has my Malphite got 40k damage? I don't know. You just 5 melts on a million people. I guess.
You just go with it at that point if you're the AD carry. You're like, all right, you know what?
Best part about that game is when I TP top at one point, it looks like I'm BMing. Like I watch the VOD and I'm like, I'm behind 4 people. I'm like, who am I ulting? And it looks like I press S in front of them. And I'm like, I remember in the fight, I was completely sold out. And then they was like, they say Senna, and they just go and watch it there. Like,
you just like hit one target, you just bye.
Yeah,
like that was
not my job.
I was like, how do I get as many people as possible? I guess I just take their aid instead.
Oh man.
Like that clip, like when I looked at it, I'm surprised the caster was like, where's the ulti? Like I just ran into them, and then it was not bad.
I do like those moments. Those are some of the funnest moments to cast as a caster. Is where like you're just looking at a play and you're going, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Yeah. How does this work? How is this a good idea? Please give me the solution. I can't see it.
I mean, I don't think anyone noticed it, but I noticed it involved because I mainly look at myself. Like obviously when I'm reviewing, like if I'm reviewing by myself. But yeah, like that was such a brain fart, but it worked.
Sometimes it just doesn't.
That's adaptation right there.
You just don't see what's going on. I do want to sort something very quickly, Jen, because I want to get some predictions going for next week. Board. Right, so what you should be looking at now is the give the results from today.
Orbe Munster, literally top of the table matchup.
Munster, that's a banger. God. That's a banger. So Zvene, have you got this up on your screen right now?
Yeah, I have the Wikipedia.
That's excellent. Okay, so
he's already had it open.
Yeah. Well, you're already on Leaguepedia. Like I don't know, man. Like already in the games probably. Next week, you guys are up against Domino, who are currently 2-4. And Natives, who are currently sat at 4-2. Obviously, don't want to be hearing leaking of any draft strategies just yet, but looking forward to those games. How are you feeling? Just sort of gut reaction.
I have played a few tournaments versus Ripad, like the Domino stop, and I don't think I've ever lost to him. So maybe this will be the first one. But like I'm not gonna be cocky going into the game. And then is like really old. Like he has played for a long time as well. Like it's not flaming. I'm old as well. Like I remember playing him in scrims in like 2015 versus this guy. So he's experienced. Like I'm not sure what to think. I haven't watched all the games yet.
Is he older than Divinus?
Is he older than Divinus? That is a.
Is he older than Victor? That's the question.
Yeah, true.
We've got
to be fair.
We've got some pensioners in our league.
Do we have any young guns right now? Do we have any they're barely old enough to compete?
I think we've had like a few players, but honestly, it's not funny when a 16-year-old player is good at League of Legends. It's just like depressing for someone that has played it for 7 years.
I'm just getting clapped by Carlson or whatever, you know? Who's our Carlson? Who's the Carlson of this division?
Like, I don't want to be solo killed by Duckling or something. It just doesn't feel good.
Yeah. No one wants to mention Duckling, no. 4-year-old Duckling, not legal 16. For him to play.
Yeah, Fatty P is also really young. Yeah. We have got some young guns, and it's exciting to see.
I'm sure there's some around, yeah. Yep.
Also, as well, like having those guys on teams with a bit more experienced players, and you hopefully end up in a situation where you've got a fair bit of
Icegale
growth
can't be that old as well, right? I haven't, we didn't see him until 2021, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But regardless, Trajan, you talked about a top of the table clash coming up.
Yes.
It's game 1 of week 4, Orbe versus Munster.
So it's Gunka Stumpy. Just everyone else watches. Everyone else just sits in the river and just watches the 1v1, and they do like a Heimerdinger versus Gwen matchup.
I reckon we should have like blind pick Mundo dodgeball in the Baron pit.
Yeah.
Like,
so
I'm ready for that.
So this is the two teams, right, that seem to just completely for no reason have draft diff every game, right? It's Orbe versus Munster. In their game, they can't both have draft diff. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Someone's got to win draft. And I think that Orbe, as far as I'm aware, the coach is the bull. They don't actually have a human coach, as far as I'm aware, right? So in terms of whoever's doing their draft, if it's just them as a team, maybe it's just 5 brains are bigger than 1, but they seem to just be smurfing these drafts. And then Munster just, I guess, pogged to the coaching staff and they're actually getting good drafts, right? So I want to see what they actually pick, because I have no idea. I'm certain that Munster will not get Thresh Chinks again. Like, I can see members of AAB in this chat, and they seem to be coaching themselves. So you can't just give them Jinx Thresh, okay? You have to make the match actually worth watching.
Trajan, are you coaching them now?
Yes, I am now coaching them. I am the
team.
bull.
What is going on here?
I am a mighty bull, and I am coaching Orbe. And I will ban Thresh, right?
Okay,
we had a quiz about how good it is and how often it wins. Please ban it. So I think that on paper, Munster have more firepower than Orbe across the board. They should win, right? They're also further up the leaderboard, and they don't look like they're getting any worse. So I think this should be a Munster dub. But I don't know if the draft actually goes wrong for Munster. Maybe we would see something else. I don't know.
Who was the team that played like Triple Enchanter or something? Was that Munster? No, that was Natives actually.
It was the.
The Syrah. No, what did they even play? Like, I just remember looking at that.
Seraphine mid, I think. It was like Seraphine and Karma.
Yeah, I will just say that
Karma top or something, and it was not good, right? It was like the Intis Karma top I've ever seen.
But that was AAB that played versus them, right?
Yeah, it was Natives. Yeah.
The question is it draft diff or is it draft grief? That is my question. Like, because I think Natives, I have never seen such a disrespectful draft in my entire career. I think.
Yeah.
So it was not beautiful. Like, I just opened stream like, wait, they can actually win this game. That was like my first thought.
And they did. And they did.
And then they did, yeah.
And, and then they won another game.
Yeah, I didn't see the other game, so I don't have any comments on that. But like I'm not sure. Like, what do you think?
Kindred triple up and mid, yeah.
I think Munster will win that game.
I think that's a fair expectation.
I think it's a bot gap is gonna appear. I think
so. A team that we actually, I don't think we have talked about at all today is Lucent. These guys were coming hot out of week 3, sat at 3-1, lost both of their matches this week to put themselves to 3-3. And if you look at the teams that they're going to be playing next week, theoretically, on paper, they should have the advantage. But Rate and Domino, I don't think they're just going to be pushovers. And we could be looking at Lucent maybe occupying a bit more of a middle-of-the-pack position in this league.
Yeah, I think that they made good use of their easy schedule already. They didn't drop any games they were supposed to win, right? That's fair enough. They're now, as we spoke to Gleedy last time, and he knows that they are, power-wise, he was expecting them to to struggle a little bit, and they have been, right? It's fair enough. It's all planned from Lucent's position. I think these matches are now, these are the ones that it's tough to win, and it could go either way. If they do, great, they're reacting well. If they don't, it's not really the end of the world. It's it's not expected, but it's not a problem now. You know, I think from next week onwards, they have to start thinking, okay, how do we get back to where we want to be? But honestly, they could go 0-2 this week, and I think not be that upset considering their current positioning themselves and their current attitude, which I think is perfectly fine. You know, a season is a season. It's 8 weeks or 9 weeks maybe. We have time for this. If Lucent do win these, I don't know. I'm losing faith in Domino personally, and I think that you know, now that Rate has org diff, they are also pretty cracked. But Rate are also very inconsistent, I think, in how they play the game, and they've just like swapped out. Did they swap out someone, or was that London?
No, that was London. I think it's London United.
Yeah, that was London. So I think that literally those matches are impossible to call right now. I think specifically Lucent Domino, I have no idea who's going to win that one, but I would probably favor Rate over Lucent, honestly.
Yeah, I think Arcane Teddy against Castrulan. It's gonna be a real test of throwing back to talking about top laners on weak side or weak side top laners. Castrulan is a weak side top laner, kind of does fulfill that role on Lucent, but if there's anyone that's gonna like kind of put you in the dirt, that is very carry focused, it is Arcane Teddy. I guess sort of shifting gears, sort of as the last topic of conversation for the show this evening. Matches that Lucent Verdant are playing next.
Yes,
we've got Natives on the Tuesday, which
the favorite. I mean, the favorites match.
that's just going to be spicy as all hell. Like,
I that's really tough to call, honestly. Right, like Natives are just like, I don't know what's going on there. As Zvene said, the draft against Orbe was just a big in, and then the next one versus Flung, they just lost. They lost to Flung, so I don't know, man. And then Verdant is now recovering. Verdant's the graphs, as I said before, they're meeting in the middle here. So we'll see maybe a crossover, or they'll bounce off each other, and Natives will use Verdant as a stepping stone to get back onto winning ways.
Natives going down at a rate that Verdant's going up, that they can match, or whatever. That's going to be a tough one to call. The London United one, standings wise, should be a bit more even, but I think the way that London United have been playing, I've not been particularly convinced by recently. Yeah, they picked up some wins here and there, but I think if the Verdant that played today plays against London United next week, I think it's going to be really difficult for the London
If the Winter that played today, then we'll see some W's, I think.
With the Verdant match versus Natives, I think honestly, like, I played versus Lundorf in Telia Masters, I think last year, and he seems like an extremely emotional player. Like, when the stuff is going well for him, he's gonna 1v9. That's like, he's an extremely clutch player when he's out, but when he falls back, I don't know if he has changed, but when I played him, it was, if he gets ahead, he can carry the game alone, but if he struggles and gets fall behind, he's gonna overforce, and it can backfire. So I think mainly like the top matchup will decide a lot in that game. That's all I can say.
Excellent, man. Top, not an irrelevant role, apparently.
Very important.
I mean, it is actually. Now you say it, like it is kind of like this TP changes is so. I hate them so much. Like,
man,
the fact that you don't. Like, the fact that Smite Top is a thing is so disgusting.
It just feels rough, man, and it always seems to happen to top lane.
As a gold player who doesn't know how to TP to other lanes, great for me, great for my top lane performance. But as for anyone who actually uses top lane and TP properly, very bad.
Like, I just remember, like, it was so easy to scrim, like, before the season started. Like, we picked prio mid, I stacked 3 waves, my mid bases, he TPs 2 of the wave, we dive the top, and then game is over. Like, that it happened so many times.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, it was so easy to play. And your bot is griefing, okay, you get a ward behind them, and I guess you just win bot lane by just teleporting. But now, like, the way you use top prio right now is so weird. Like, basically you crash a wave, and then you have to go to the objective, and then you have to TP back. Like, it's just reversed. Like, it's so bad. Like,
so I don't know if either of you two have the misfortune of using Reddit on occasion, but there was a post about Reddit, an Urgot rework years and years and years ago, and it was a whole long multi-paragraph thing. And one of the mechanics that it was talking about is the jungle box. The idea that around the jungle is this big old box that means that the jungle can't leave the jungle and that people can't interact with the jungle at all, and that the earliest you're ever going to be able to gank is 15 minutes. Riot Games took that and put it top lane. You got to stay there until the end of time, and then maybe you could TP out twice to do something.
I mean, just wait until 14 minutes, or win top so hard that you can just proxy farm and roam. Like, that's basically how it is right now.
Well,
like,
that's what you got to do, and you've heard it from Zvene, the man himself, the exceptional top laner. Just win your lane, and it's that easy. We are going to be clearing up the show now. That's all we've got time for. Zvene, thank you very much for coming on today. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and wish you best of luck for next week.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Well, Trajan, man, another show in the bag. Nice to talk to you again. Have you got any sort of closing thoughts before we head out?
Gunkus. That's it.
Goodbye.
I'm out. I'm gonna leave, so you might as well turn the stream off, because